Shalom, welcome to Tactically Torah. I am Heath Hayes. Today is day 60 of Read the Bible in a Year, and we are reading Deuteronomy chapters 5 through 7. So let's just get after it real quick. And Moshe called all Israel and said to them, Hear, O Israel, the laws, the right rulings, which I speak in your hearing today, and you shall learn them and guard to do them. Yahweh our Elohim made a covenant with us in Horeb. Yahweh did not make his covenant with our fathers, but with us, those who are here today, all of us who are alive. Yahweh spoke with you face to face on the mountain from the midst of the fire. I stood between Yahweh and you at that time and declared to you the word of Yahweh, for you were afraid because of the fire. And you did not go up the mountain, saying, I am Yahweh, your Elohim, who brought you out of the midst of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage. You have no other mighty ones against me, or against my face. You do not make for yourself a carved image, any likeness of which is in the heavens above, or in the which is in the earth beneath, which is in the waters under the earth. You do not bow down to them nor serve them, for I, Yahweh, your Elohim, am a jealous El, visiting the crookedness of the fathers upon the children of the third and the fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing loving commitment to thousands, to those who love me and guard my commands. You do not bring a name of Yahweh your Elohim to naught, for Yahweh does not leave him unpunished who brings his name to naught. Guard the Sabbath day to set it apart, as Yahweh your Elohim commanded you. 6 days you labor, and you shall do all your work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath of work, a Sabbath of Yahweh is a Sabbath of Yahweh your Elohim. You do not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, your ox, nor your donkey, nor any of your cattle, nor your sojourner who is within your gates, so that your male servant and your female servant rest as you do. Father's so good. Verse 15, And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Mitzrayim, and that Yahweh your Elohim brought you out of there by a strong hand and by an outstretched arm. Therefore Yahweh your Elohim commanded you to perform the Sabbath day. Respect your father and your mother, as Yahweh your Elohim commanded you, so that your days are prolonged, and so that it is well with you in the soil which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. You do not murder, you do not commit adultery, you do not steal, you do not bear false witness against your neighbor, you do not covet your neighbor's wife, nor do you desire your neighbor's house, his field, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, his ox or his donkey, or whatever belongs to your neighbor. These words Yahweh spoke to all your assembly, in the mountain from the midst of the fire of the cloud, and of the thick darkness with the cloud. And he added no more, and he wrote on them 2 tablets of stone and gave them to me. And it came to be, when you heard the voice from the midst of the darkness, while the mountain was burning with fire, that you came near me, all the heads of your tribes and your elders, and said, See, Yahweh our Elohim has shown us his esteem and his greatness, and we have heard his voice from the midst of the fire. Today we have seen that Elohim speaks with man, and he lives. And now why should we die? For this great fire is consuming us. If we hear the voice of Yahweh our Elohim any more, then we shall die. For who is there of all flesh who has heard the voice of the living Elohim speaking from the midst of the fire as we have, and does live? You go near and hear all that Yahweh our Elohim says, and speak to us all that Yahweh our Elohim says to you, and we shall hear and do it. And Yahweh heard the voice of your words, and when you spoke to me, and Yahweh said to me, I have heard the voice of the words of this people which they have spoken to you. They have done well in all that they have spoken. Oh, that they had had such a heart in them to fear me and to guard all my commands always, so that it might be well with them and with their children forever. Go, say to them, return to your tents. But you, stand here by me, and let me speak to you all the commands and the laws and the right rulings which you are to teach them, and they shall do them in the land which I am going to give them to possess, or which I am giving them to possess. And you shall guard to do as Yahweh your Elohim commanded you. Do not turn aside the right or to the left. Walk in all the ways which Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you, so that you live and it be well with you. And you shall prolong your days in the land which you possess. Chapter 6. And this is the command and the laws and the right rulings which Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you, to teach you to do in the land which you are passing over to possess, so that you fear Yahweh your Elohim, and to guard his laws and his commands which I am commanding you, you and your son and your grandson, all the days of your life, and that your days be prolonged. And you shall hear, O Israel, and shall guard to do that it might be well with you, and that you increase greatly, as Yahweh Elohim of your fathers has spoken to you, in a land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim, Yahweh is one. And you shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. All these words which I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them on your children, and shall speak them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And it shall be, when Yahweh your Elohim brings you into the land which he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give you great and good cities which you did not build, and houses filled with all kinds of goods which you did not fill, and wells dug which you did not dig, and vineyards and olive trees that you did not plant, and you shall eat and be satisfied. Be on guard lest you forget Yahweh, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim from the house of bondage. Fear Yahweh your Elohim, and serve him, and swear by his name. Do not go after other mighty ones, the mighty ones of the peoples who are all around you. For Yahweh your Elohim is a jealous El in your midst, lest the displeasure of Yahweh your Elohim burn against you, and he shall destroy you from the face of the earth. Do not try Yahweh your Elohim as you had tried him in Massah. Diligently guard the commands of Yahweh your Elohim and his witnesses, and his laws which he has commanded you. And you shall do what is right and good in the eyes of Yahweh, and that it might be well with you, and you shall go and possess the good land of which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to drive out all the enemies from before you, as Yahweh has spoken. When your son asks you in the time to come, saying, what is the meaning of the witnesses, and the laws and the right rulings which Yahweh our Elohim has commanded you, then you shall say to your son, we were slaves of Pharaoh in Mitzrayim, and Yahweh brought us out of Mitzrayim with a strong hand. And Yahweh sent signs and wonders and great and grievous upon Mitzrayim, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household before our eyes. And he brought us out from there to bring us in, to give us the land which he swore to our fathers. And Yahweh commanded us to do all these laws, to fear Yahweh our Elohim for our good always, to keep us alive, as it is today. And it is righteousness for us when we guard to do all the command before Yahweh our Elohim as he has commanded us. It is righteousness for us. How about that? Chapter 7. And when Yahweh our Elohim brings you into the land which you go to possess, he shall also clear away many nations before you, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than you. And when Yahweh your Elohim gives them over to you, you shall strike them and put them under the ban completely. Make no covenant with them, and show them no favor, and do not intermarry with them, and you do not give your daughter to his son, and you do not take his daughter for your son. For he turns your sons away from following me to serve other mighty ones. Then the displeasure of Yahweh shall burn against you and promptly destroy you. But this is what you do to them: break down their slaughter places and smash their pillars, cut down their asherim, and burn their carved images with fire. For you are a set-apart people to Yahweh your Elohim. Where are we at? You are a set-apart people to Yahweh your Elohim. Yahweh your Elohim has chosen you to be a people for himself, a treasured possession above all the peoples on the face of the earth. Yahweh did not set his love on you, nor choose you because you were more numerous than any other people, for you were the least of all peoples, but because of Yahweh loving you, and because of him guarding the oath which he swore to your fathers. Yahweh brought you out with a strong hand, and ransomed you from the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim. And you shall know that Yahweh your Elohim, he is Elohim, the trustworthy El, guarding covenant and loving commitment for 1,000 generations with those who love him, and those who guard his commands. But repaying those who hate him to their face, to destroy them. He does not delay to do so with him who hates him. He who repays him to his face, or he repays him to his face. And you shall guard the command and the laws and the right rulings which I command you today to do them. And it shall be, because you hear these right rulings and shall guard to do them, that Yahweh your Elohim shall guard you with the covenant and with a loving commitment which he swore to your fathers, and shall love you and bless you and increase you, and shall bless the fruit of your womb and the fruit of your land, your grain and your new wine and your oil, the increase of your cattle and the offspring of your flock, in the land of which he swore to your fathers to give you. Blessed are you above all peoples. There is not going to be a barren man or a barren woman among you, or among your livestock. And Yahweh shall turn away from you all sickness, and put on you none of the evil diseases of Mitzrayim which you have known, but he shall put them all on those who hate you. And you shall consume all the peoples whom Yahweh your Elohim is delivering over to you. Your eyes shall not pardon them, and you do not serve their mighty ones, for that is a snare to you. When you say in your heart, these nations are greater than I am unable to drive them out. Do not be afraid of them. Remember that Yahweh your Elohim did to Pharaoh and to all Mitzrayim the great trials which your eyes saw, and the signs and wonders, and strong hand and outstretched arm by which Yahweh your Elohim brought you out. Yahweh your Elohim does so to all the peoples of whom you are afraid. And Yahweh your Elohim also sends the hornet among them, until those who are left, who hid themselves from you, are destroyed. And you do not be afraid of them, for Yahweh your Elohim is a great and awesome El, is in your midst. And Yahweh your Elohim shall drive out those nations before you little by little. You are not allowed to destroy them at once, lest the beasts of the field become too numerous for you. But Yahweh your Elohim shall deliver them over to you, and destroy them with a great destruction until they are consumed. And he shall give their sovereigns into your hands, and you shall destroy their name from under the heavens. No one is going to be able to stand against you until you have destroyed them. The carved images of their mighty ones you are to burn with fire. Do not covet the silver or the gold that is on them, nor take it for yourself, lest you be snared by it, for it is an abomination to Yahweh your Elohim. You do not bring an abomination into your house, lest you be cursed like it. Utterly loathe it, and utterly hate it, for it is cursed. All right, that's Deuteronomy chapters 5, 6, and 7. Next time we will continue in chapter 8. Shalom.